invited here to the opening of an envelope. And this time it says,
This is funny.
Master Hugo and Master Chester Draper. And inside is a brand new book, The Little White Fluffy Cloud Who Fell in Love with the Sun.
Whose name is it?
Right? And it opens up this way. And it says here, Hello Chester and Hugo, I hope that you both enjoy this little story about Angus and his friends. Both grow up to be strong and clever and remember to be kind. Lots of love from Lesley Cordell. She's the lady that wrote it. And now for the story. Oh, it goes this way. I got it right way out. If you look up at the sky, maybe you can spot a little white fluffy cloud that looks a bit like Angus. Cumulus clouds are clouds which have flat bases and are often described as puffy, cotton-like or fluffy. In appearance, their name comes from the Latin cumulo, meaning heap or pile. There's a cloud.
There's a rainbow.
The rainbow as well, see? More pictures. Angus, a little white fluffy cloud, loved the sun, and he was quite sure that the sun loved him too. Her glow warmed him all over. His millions and trillions of water droplets reflected on her yellow heat and sparkled like diamonds. Angus loved the sun so much that he asked the four winds to blow him closer to her. He could only imagine how lovely it would be to snuggle up to the sun and feel the warmth. The winds from the west and south were kind and wise, so they refused to create even the smallest of breezes to send him on his journey. There's the winds. Little clouds, you must never float too close to the sun. She will dry you up and then you will disappear, said the wind from the south. No, little cloud, we won't help you get closer to the sun, said the wind from the west. The little cloud didn't believe them, so he asked the winds from the north and the east if they would help him to get closer to the sun. The north wind laughed out loud, ha ha ha, and the little cloud could hear icicles clinking together as the cold winds throbbed. You are a very silly little cloud, said the north wind. Then the cold wind blew Angus further away from the sun.
Hector.
The bitter east wind said that of course he would help. He suggested that they should meet first thing in the morning. As the east wind spoke, his chilly breath puffed little bits of white fluffy cloud away. Poor Angus was all being blown away. That night, Angus gathered moonbeams and twinkles from the stars to give to his love, the sun. He was very excited. He was sure that she would be delighted with his gifts. Very early the next morning, the sun rose over the horizon. She blazed in all her glory and beamed a wonderful smile
Hector.
at Angus.
Lay down. Lay down. Lay down.
The east wind blew from the distant, freezing land and began to blow and blow. The east wind's gusty breath was chilly. All the moonbeams and twinkles from the stars that Angus had collected became frozen. Look, frozen. As Angus was blown towards the sun, he opened his fluffy arms wide to show her the wonderful gifts that he had carried. The moonbeams had frozen into huge shards of ice, and the twinkles from the stars had become snowflakes. Together they shone in the sun's rays like bright chandeliers. As Angus floated closer to the sun, the frozen moonbeams and star twinkles began to melt and drip. Angus was so upset that he began to cry. The sun became a great big smile full of love. The rays from her smile passed through the tears and the drips from the melting gifts and created a wonderful rainbow that arched across the sky. The drops of water fell to earth, topping up all the seas and rivers, sprinkling over fields and gardens. Angus, the little white fluffy cloud, slowly disappeared. The lady bringing her washing in there. His big wet tears caused people to get in their washing and put up their umbrellas. The sun was really going to miss Angus, the little white fluffy cloud. Though the sun was sad, she continued to shine and her rays warmed the earth. There's the earth, look, there's the moon. Very tiny, invisible droplets of water evaporated from the seas, rivers and ponds and puddles. They rose up with the warm air and floated high into the sky. When the air began to cool, the water droplets huddled together and something magical happened. What do you think that happened? What happened to the water? Next morning, when the sun rose and peeked over the horizon, she saw that her friend Angus, the little cloud, was waiting for her, all fluffy and white again. She beamed a great big smile full of love and joy, which made Angus very happy. And that's how rain is formed. There, and that's yours.
Oh,
You
lovely. Brilliant. Angus.
All right, do you want to take it?
What a lovely story.
That was good,
Okay.
wasn't it? Would you like to have a look at the photos?
Wow. How lovely.
The pictures, yeah?
Well, that's Lesley
Even says
Cordell
your
gave you
name.
that
Brilliant. Thank you.
as a gift.
Nice, isn't it?
Cheers.